Hey guys, it's Brandon Miniman from Pocketnow.com, and this is the software review of the Motorola Droid 2 on Verizon. Let's get started. So the software on the Motorola Droid 2 is very similar to what you get on the Droid X, but of course the screen is a lot smaller on the Droid 2, 3.7 inches compared to 4.3. Now the main difference between these two devices, besides the form factor, is that the Droid 2 is running Android 2.2 and the Droid X is running Android 2.1. So in theory, the Droid 2 should be faster at doing everything, launching applications, browsing the web, compared to the Droid X, because Android 2.2 is supposed to be much faster. So in a couple of minutes, we're going to compare the two in launching applications and browsing the web and see if that claim holds to be true. Okay, so let's talk about the Droid 2. So obviously we have a slide-out keyboard, which means that the home screen can reorient to the proper orientation here, and quite smoothly and quickly, I might add. So we can go back and forth, and sometimes it takes a little bit more than a second, but most of the time it happens in about half of a second. And even if you go to a home screen that is a little bit more advanced, when you slide open the keyboard, it still happens very fast, and it lines up very nicely. So that is a nice thing to have. So just like the Droid X, you get a choice of 7 home screens to customize, and when you swipe to the right or to the left, you get this quick jump on the bottom that lets you quickly jump from home screen 1 to home screen 2, and so on and so forth. And so we can add Motorola widgets, and we can add stock Android widgets. I'm going to take you through some of the Motorola widgets that are included on the Droid 2. They're very similar to what you get on the Droid X. So here we have a simple clock widget. We can actually resize all of the Motorola widgets, which is quite nice. And the function actually changes sometimes when you resize the widgets. For example, here I've changed the clock widget into a calendar widget just by changing its size. So that's really neat. So you get these handles, and you can make it skinny, a little bit wider, and you get the point from there. Then I've got just a variety of shortcuts. Here on the bottom, we have the permanent buttons. We have contacts, the application launcher, and the phone over here on the left. Swiping over to the left here, we have a Google search bar, Froyo style, and we can change what we're actually searching, although right now I have it only set to Google and the web. Going back, we have a quick link into our calendar. Down here, we have a messaging application which will open up a widget, not the actual mail application, to let you quickly preview your email, which is nice. And I've got some links on the bottom. Scrolling to the left, have some quick toggles for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, and airplane mode. And they're very visual, and they look pretty cool, so you swipe them on. And let's see how this one looks in landscape. Pretty good. The toggles actually change design when you go into landscape, and that's happening pretty fast, which is impressive. We can go over here to the weather widget, and it's using GPS to see where I am and tell me the weather in the location. Go back. This does have the 3G mobile hotspot capability like the Droid X, but unfortunately you have to pay an extra $20 a month to get it to work on top of your data plan, so don't expect to use this as a 3G Wi-Fi hotspot out of the box. Although if you root it, you may be able to get away with it. So let's go back. Okay, and on the left we have nothing, so we can add a couple of widgets, just kind of play around here. So we've already seen these 2 toggles. You've seen the calendar. The contact quick task is really awesome, and they have this on the Droid X as well. So we can take a particular contact, and we can assign a quick action to them. So for example, we can have a quick action for text messaging, or to email, or to call their home. So I'm going to just do Twitter and view contact details just to choose to. And then we get these 2 little offshoots of the contact. So imagine having one of your home screens be assigned to all of your friends, and all of your friends have these 2 little drop downs, one for text messaging and one to call them. Really awesome way to kind of group together contacts and be able to perform an action on them in a quick amount of time. Let's jump back into the Motorola widgets. Photo widget is just a quick little widget that lets you flick through photos. I don't have any gallery set up, so can't go through that. We have a picture frame plus widget, which is a little bit more fancy than what you get with the photo widget. Social networking, which is cool. It ties into multiple services, and right now I only have Twitter set up. So I can click done, and I can see what's going on in Twitter. If I tap on it, it brings up this little widget. I can flick through all of the different tweets that have been going on through my account and just kind of look at Twitter in a quick and easy way. Let's delete that. And there's also, of course, a widget that lets you update your Twitter or Facebook status right from your home screen. That's called Social Status. We have something called Sticky Note, which is a way to remind you to do certain things, which is quite nice, and also Weather, which you've seen, and the Wi-Fi toggle. And one more thing, there's a News widget, which will allow you to add custom feeds. So let's say we want to add the RSS from Pocketnow.com. And by the way, we do have an on-screen keyboard here, which is pretty good. It's very much similar in functionality to the stock Android keyboard you would get on, say, the Google Nexus 1. But I mean, on a device like this, you probably should be using the slide-out keyboard. So it's trying to find the RSS feed for Pocketnow. It seems to have found it, so I'm going to click subscribe, and now I will have the Pocketnow RSS feed on my home screen. And I can tap here and swipe through all of the recent RSS feeds from today. It's a kind of a cool way to quickly check on news and see what's going on. So I'm going to delete that. And beyond that, you get the other standard Android widgets. Some of these I've added, like battery widget, digital clock, so on and so forth. Nothing special in the pull-down notification. It's not like the Galaxy S where you can quickly toggle Wi-Fi or Bluetooth from up here, but you get the sort of white style, the white skin. Some Android phones have a black or dark gray skin to go with their entire skin. Okay, so let's talk now about some of the built-in programs. Then we're going to compare launching programs and using the browser with the Droid X to see if Froyo has made a difference. So let's go into the application tray. And oddly, even though I've turned off animations, I still get an animation in and out of the application tray, which is kind of annoying. It slows down the device a little bit. So the Droid 2 comes with the Blockbuster application. Of course, you have to pay for that. It comes with City ID. A lot of these apps you can get in the Android marketplace, but Verizon obviously has some deals with these companies like Amazon MP3. And down here we have Google Search, Gallery, which probably doesn't have any pictures in it. Well, maybe one. You can open this picture. This is actually a video that I took earlier. Hey guys, it's Brandon Miniman from Pocketnow.com. We're testing the video recording capability of... And we'll go over YouTube playback in a couple of minutes. We'll compare that to the Droid X and see which playback is smoother. So that is the Gallery. It has DLNA support, so you can play multimedia from your Droid 2 onto any other DLNA supported device. Kindle application is included, although of course that's an Android market application. Quick Office is included, so you can view and edit Microsoft Office documents. Always nice to have. And then you get the other standard stuff here that is typical for an Android 2.2 device. And of course in settings we have the Froyo adjusted settings, so now display and sound are two different elements, not too big of a deal, but just a nice way to separate the two. Okay, so here now we have the Droid X right next to the Droid 2, and we're going to do some speed tests. I've tried to set up the home screens as similarly as possible. So if I swipe to the left, you're getting basically the same thing here. Let's see how fast things happen. Faster on the Droid 2 there, simple operation. Scroll to the left. They basically seem the same, have the same amount of smoothness. Maybe the Droid 2 is a little bit smoother than the Droid X in this situation. Let's see how long it takes to launch the application tray. Okay, it was faster on the Droid 2. So far, so good. The Droid 2 is definitely proving to be a little bit faster. Let's open up settings. Okay, Droid 2 was faster in opening up settings. Let's open up the browser. Droid 2 is slightly faster in that case also. So let's go to Pocketnow.com. We're over the same Wi-Fi network. And let's see if the Droid 2 Froyo browser is indeed faster. Now I should tell you that I have plugins enabled, which means that it's going to show Flash content, whereas the Droid X is not going to. So that actually gives the Droid X an advantage, but out of the box, the Droid 2 has plugins enabled. So I'm trying to replicate that out-of-box experience. So let's see which is faster. So far the Droid 2 is smoking the Droid X. Actually, it looks like the Droid X is Droid X 1. Very interesting. We'll let the Droid 2 finish, and we're actually going to turn off plugins in a minute. Just want to move around the page so you kind of get an idea for how smooth they do that. Okay, so let's pinch and zoom. Seems a little bit smoother on the Droid X, actually. And again, I think that's because the Droid 2 is showing flash content. So real quick, I'm going to disable the plugins, the flash content, so that it's more of an even playing field here. Okay, and now let's go to Engadget.com, see which gets there faster. Now with plugins disabled, got that up there. Okay, and even with the delay, the Droid 2 still won by, it looks like 5 seconds so far. We're going to get to 10 seconds now, so I'll just stop it from loading. So the Droid 2 is definitely faster. Let's move around on the page here on the Droid 2. Accidentally clicked on a link. And we're going to click on a permalink at the same time and see which gets there faster. So I'm going to double tap to zoom in, double tap to zoom in, and I'm going to click these at the same time. Okay, then they're off. And by the way, neither device has any tabs open, which could slow down performance. So let's see which works fastest. And the Droid X keeps on going. We're going to have to stop it here. Let's go to the sidebar here and tap on something. We'll try one more speed test. I should mention that the Droid X and the Droid 2 have similar hardware inside. They both have a 1 GHz Texas Instruments OMAP processor. They both have 512 megabytes of RAM. The real big difference here is, of course, the operating system version. So let's see which gets fastest to this page. Okay, the Droid 2 won, living up to its claim to be faster than Android 2.1. In fact, applications loaded faster, the application tray opened up quicker. Let's just test screen rotation speed just to see if there's a difference there. Okay, exactly the same there. Exactly the same. So the Droid 2 was faster there. No big difference in terms of screen rotation speed. And just for good measure, let's jump into YouTube, try to do it at the exact same time so you can get a sense for how smooth video playback is compared to these two devices and how fast YouTube actually opens. Lots of fingerprints on the screen there. So it looks like the Droid 2 was about a half a second ahead. So we're going to tap on the first video, see which buffers the first, and take it from there. Well, that wasn't fair because the Droid 2 didn't pick up that press. Go back, and we'll do this one. Okay, so the Droid 2 got it up faster. And let's just watch video playback for just a minute to see which looks better.
We're not here to celebrate being boring. We're not? Boring.
You can see the colors are more saturated here on the Droid 2, and the contrast is also better. But of course you get a bigger screen on the Droid X. So this concludes the software review of the Motorola Droid 2. For those of you that had the original Droid, which had a very much stock Android installation, you may be a little bit disappointed with the customizations made to the Droid 2. But personally, I think it's a good thing because you got to get a lot of extra widgets. You get a little bit of customization that makes your Android phone feel different than other Android phones out there. And of course, we found out that with Android 2.2, the Droid 2 is significantly faster than the Droid X, which has Android 2.1 running very similar hardware. Programs open faster, web pages render more quickly, and it's smoother to pan and scroll around on a web page. So the Droid 2 gets high marks in the software department. Be sure to check Pocketnow.com for the full review, where we'll talk about photo quality, camera quality, battery life, and more about performance. Please thumbs up this video if you liked it, and thanks for watching. That's it for now.